So, what do you think is the biggest mistake that the small owners do that make them feel stuck?
I think there's three things. I do want to address them because we've been talking about fulfillment and balance, and I don't want people to think that it's Pollyanna, right? Like the things that I work with my clients about, I help my clients add $10,000 a month in revenue, an additional $10,000 a month, and free up time. So I'm very proud of the fact that I've helped over 100 businesses get to $1 million in revenue or more, particularly since only 9% of all businesses ever get there. So while it is about balance, it's also about growth. And that leads into your question, I think, about the mistakes people make. The first is that when people get into business, they don't give themselves a long enough runway to achieve success. Most people get into business because they have a passion for something or they're good at it, and they think they're going to see results right away. It's been my experience that most businesses that start won't make a profit for at least the first year. So you have to have enough runway to be able to weather that storm and not quit. The second thing is when people start to experience a level of success. So there's kind of three main levels of a business growth. There's the build phase. That's where you're making less than about $10,000 a month. Once you get to $10,000 a month, you have some stability in your business. And then the next phase is grow phase. And most small business owners live in that. That's anywhere from $10,000 a month to about $85,000 a month. At that $85,000 a month mark, which is the $1 million a year mark, it's a scale phase. So most businesses are in this grow phase. When they're in that grow phase, the mistake they typically make is they don't hire soon enough when they need help. They're the engine of their business instead of the driver of their business. And when they do hire, when they reach a place where they go, oh my gosh, I have to hire now, they hire out of urgency. So they tend to make bad hires initially. So what I try to work with clients on is, as we're moving through the grow phase, let's put processes in place that we're able to hire when we need to, and we're going to hire for role, not person. Is what when you hire out of urgency, you go, oh, Sophia's a good person, I'm going to hire her, and then you may or may not be the right person for the role. So that's the two biggest. There's three biggest mistakes. One, not enough runway. Two, not hiring soon enough. And three, when they do hire, hiring out of urgency. The other thing that I would say is people try to scale too quickly. So when I started in coaching, people would come to me and say, hey, I want to make $100,000 a year. Now people come to me and say, I want to make $1 million a year. And it's absolutely doable, but you're not going to go from $200,000 to $1 million. And that's what people are trying to do. And that's why I focus on, we're going to add an additional $10,000 a month. So, $240,000 a year, you're making $20,000 a month. Instead of saying, I want to make 500,000, let's get you to 30,000 a month. And then 40,000 a month. And if we do it that way, we'll actually get you to $500,000 quick.
That's good. It's like one step at a time.
Absolutely. I call it the level up process. It's a framework that I use with my clients. Yeah.
That's really good. I'm actually learning.
Good.
like
Good.
really, because I'm like, I do have a cosmetic business.
Yeah.
I'm trying to run. I might be launching it next year. I don't know when, but I want to work with it. But I'm always writing notes down. I'm like, okay, you know what? If it's time to hire, this is the time to hire.
Exactly.
I'm like, even I don't have the real step, but I'm writing them down to for me to know what to do in my future.
Yeah, I think that's smart. And start with the end in mind, right? The other thing I tell people when they're starting a business, start the business with the idea that you're eventually going to sell the business. Not that you ever will, but if you build a business that way, you can if you want to. And so it's starting with that end in mind instead of, a mistake a lot of people make. There's three things when I'm working with a small business owner that get in the way of their growth. One is just growth stalls. And usually it's because they're trying to do too much instead of leveraging people and systems. The other is that they become the bottleneck of their business because they're trying to do too much in the business. And then the third, I call it business by Band-Aid. And that's problems come up. And so instead of taking time to assess the problem and solve the problem, we stick a Band-Aid on it, and then another Band-Aid on it, and then another Band-Aid on it. And all of a sudden we have a super complex business. But if you start with the end in mind, then you're not putting Band-Aids on problem. You're solving not just this problem, but what will be the next problem you have to solve.